This was getting down to the nitty-gritty details of the European negotiations. The House of Lords Committee wanted to know more about the impact of the Lisbon Treaty reforms.
The fact is that sometimes the conversation about Europe is trapped in a dialogue about a double negative. It's that Europe's a real threat, but don't worry, we're protecting you from it. And now that we have the treaty, we have the formal text, and we have achieved our red lines, protocols, and opt-ins and opt-outs, I think there is an opportunity now in the new year, as we seek to ratify the Lisbon Treaty through Parliament, to be positive about the impact of the treaty, and more widely positive about the importance of Europe in our foreign policy. Because I think it's those who, and without drawing your lordships in a wider debate, is that for those who say that the Reform Treaty isn't necessary, I'm not aware of the considered alternative in terms of how a Europe of 27 countries can change its rules to be effective. And those who oppose our membership of the European Union more generally, I can't conceive, or I cannot conceive a coherent British national interest foreign policy assessment which doesn't have us as an active member of the European Union. I think a world without the European Union, I think, would be less prosperous and less fair place. So the European Union, as the Foreign Secretary has said recently, has the opportunity to be a model power in the world, and that's part of the argument we'd seek to make as we ratify the Reform Treaty. But unfortunately, perhaps inevitably, Lordship, I have to set out the statistics and the facts for the record. I think the opportunity for rhetoric and high-minded politics, if I ever reach that, if that's ever a hurdle I can clear, is for another time, perhaps at second reading of the EU Amendment Bill. But we're certainly determined to make the positive case for the treaty, and more widely the positive case for the European Union.
He was also asked about possible reform or change as far as the common agricultural policy is concerned.
President Sarkozy has spoken about the need for radical reform of the common agricultural policy. Now, that seems to be, now, there's different definitions and analysis about what radical reform, of course, means in practice. But our view is that amongst the members of the European Parliament, there is a real determination, in principle, amongst the majority to reform the agricultural policy. I mean, the majority, not unanimity, but majority. And we think that is that could be a useful lever in the process of change.
More debates on Europe are expected in 2008.
One of the Lord's shows